Poor Donnie tried to distance himself from Tuesday night's election results, saying, "I wasn't on the ballot." But Rupert Murdoch clapped back, and he said, "Nah, bitch, you were on the ballot, and you lost." I mean, that's clearly the essence of this title, right?
How do you read last night's election results?
They have this new word called affordability. You remember when I started, eggs were up by 4 times what they were. We're going to have $2 gasoline. I did that. The groceries are way down other than beef. Biden was a disaster with affordability.
Trump's defense for Tuesday night is weak.
I mean, my endorsement means a lot to me. So I was a little disappointed.
Trump's endorsement of Cuomo and Ciattarelli meant nothing. Nada. Zilch. But it's probably because they did not talk about eggs enough.
2 days in the office and they tell me about eggs. I solved that. But as Republicans, you have to talk about it.
Right, Donnie. Republicans are notoriously humble and quiet about their accomplishments. Most Americans are furious with Donald Trump and his agenda, and they turned out on Tuesday night to vote down that agenda, erasing almost all of the gains that Republicans made among Black men, independents, and Hispanic voters in 2024. And that's not me saying that. That's the Wall Street Journal editorial board saying that. The Wall Street Journal, owned by Rupert Murdoch. When Trump started claiming on Tuesday night that it didn't go well because he wasn't on the ballot, the Wall Street Journal responded directly with a piece on Wednesday night entitled, "Trump Really Was on the Ballot." The victories were not the only highlight from Tuesday night. The margins of those victories were also a pleasant surprise. Trump endorsed the Republican Ciattarelli in New Jersey's governor's race, but the Democrat Cheryl actually won that race by 13 points, and her Democratic predecessor only won by 3 points.
There's no surprises. What happened last night was blue states and blue cities voted blue, and no one should read too much into last night's election results.
MAGA Mike Johnson can claim all he wants that there were no surprises on Tuesday night, but the Journal's editorial board says not so fast. How do you explain the suburban New Jersey counties that swung so sharply to the left? And Fox News is also trying to make sense of these election results, what it means for Donald Trump and his agenda, and why women played such a big role.
Big picture, looking at all of these different races, I know they're strongly Democrat areas, but what should the Republicans learn from that night?
A couple of things. This is a big loss. You can say that these states were traditionally blue, but you can also say that heading in, there was some thought that, especially in New Jersey, that Ciattarelli would do better. The spreads here are surprising. Maybe not the results, but the spreads. And if you look inside the numbers, there are some dangerous things. One, young women overwhelmingly in New Jersey and Virginia supported the Democrat based on economy, on immigration, maybe those ICE images, the affordability push by Mamdani really sticks. And that's basically inflation and how people feel about the economy. So this dichotomy between how Wall Street's doing and how big business is doing and how you feel about it at home is something Republicans really have to look at closely. But look at this spread in Virginia. It's massive.
Do you think that the young people, especially in the Mamdani race, which is fascinating to me, do you think that they liked his solutions that he was putting forward, or he was the only one who was actually talking about it?
They turned out in droves. Young people
they did.
I mean, in big numbers. 18 to 39 came out for Mamdani big. I think Cuomo started to close at the end because he was saying, here's the fearful things, here are the things you have to be worried about. But he was such a bad candidate at the beginning, it seemed like it was too late.
What about the two things? What about the Hispanic vote? And what about the Hispanic vote as well as the female vote going to Democrats without abortion really being front and center? For the longest time, people thought, well, that was the reason. Republicans are vulnerable because the pro-life movement, perhaps women were rallying against that. But that wasn't an issue.
No, it really seems like it's economy. It really seems like it's
Groceries.
How they feel, grocery shopping, how affordability. There is some other, there is a Trump factor here. He is right to say he was not on the ballot, and when he's not, it doesn't produce the same emotion, but it does produce emotion on the other side, the anti-Trump voter, and they came out in droves as well.
That's a problem for Republicans moving forward. I mean, President Trump is not going to be on the ballot in the future, so they've got to really put forward better candidates that can address these issues.
Kilmeade's dismay that women still voted for Democrats even when abortion wasn't on the ballot is a perfect depiction of how out of touch MAGA truly is. Yeah. Women vote based on the economy. And guess what, you dingbat? Abortion and groceries, those are economic issues. Women care about the economy because we buy things and we pay bills. And even our little woman brains notice when a price is higher than it used to be. Seriously, can't believe I have to say that.
What about the shutdown in Northern Virginia especially?
I bet they're going to try to get to a solution sometime this week. I'm definitely going to ask President Trump about that today. I'm going down to Miami on the side of an economic forum that he's speaking to, and I'll have an interview with him.
And talk to Trump he did. Brett and Donnie had a lovely conversation where Trump mused about groceries, affordability, and the fact that Republicans just need to talk more.
Well, I watched very closely. These are three pretty Democrat states, assuming everything is fair and balanced, as you would say. I thought that New Jersey would do better. I didn't think that Virginia was going to do very well. I didn't think the candidate, didn't really have my support, my big support.
Is that why you didn't really endorse her?
I didn't endorse her, no, I didn't. The Cuomo situation, it's just, he had too many things against him. He had a lot of things against him. And Curtis Lewitt tried very hard, but he's been there before. So it was pretty open shot that Mandami had.
You said today, you kind of admitted that last night was not great for the party. You said that the shutdown and your name not being on the ballot were big factors. You're the head of the party, so obviously the policies are run on in these states. Do you see that at all, or how do you read it?
Well, I do, because we've done so much. Energy is way down. Look at energy. We're going to have $2 gasoline. I did that. That brings everything else down. Groceries are way down, other than beef. Now beef is going to come down. We have to do that. You remember when I started, eggs were up by 4 times what they were, because the fact is we have prices way down. We have prices down. Our country's doing well. The stock market's hitting record highs, like 48 times during my 9 months, and just a couple of days ago it hit another record high, like really record high. It's great, and that equates, it's not just rich people, that's 401ks. I mean, that equates to everybody, and the country's doing very well. But as Republicans, you have to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, I saw that they kept talking about affordability. Well, Biden was a disaster with affordability. He had the highest inflation rate in the history of our country, but you have to talk about it. It's no good if we do a great job and you don't talk about it, and I don't think they talk about it enough. They have this new word called affordability, and they don't talk about it enough. The Democrats did. And the Democrats make it up because we took over a mess. Think of energy. Energy was so expensive, and now I have it down to half what it was.
I don't see the best economy right now. Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something, President Trump. So I guess, what do you say to Regina and people like her?
Well, I do say this. Beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. It's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down. And think of this. Energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way down. And energy is so all-encompassing. It's so big that when energy goes down, everything comes down. Everything follows it. And I have energy down to 5-6-year lows now.
So you think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that. Yeah, I think they're coming down, but I think they're down already. I think the biggest problem is Republicans don't talk about it. They don't talk about the word affordability, and the Democrats lie about it.
Per the usual, he said so much crazy shit in that interview, but the thing that sticks with me is his claim that affordability is this new word. When he was talking about affordability, when he was talking about eggs and gas during the campaign, does he really not know that's what affordability is? It's the cost of things. But if he and MAGA actually believe that affordability is this newfangled concept, then they're screwed. For real. We're going to be making up so many words ahead of the 2026 midterms, like accountability, justice, democracy. So make sure you subscribe to Really American so you don't miss any of those super fun new words. Share this video with someone in your life so we can keep the conversation going. For Really American Media, I am Corinne Straight. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.